Hello, Chantel.
Hi.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good. So we spoke on the phone and then outside as well. We covered a bit of the informed consent piece. And I covered the confidentiality piece, the clauses to confidentiality, your, I guess, rights in counseling. You're aware of those?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I just want to get some background information. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
So today's session is going to be lots of questions, and I'm just going to kind of get a good perspective, good background information. Also, you can discuss. I'm going to ask you about the issue that you're here to talk about, but also some things about your history, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, what brings you here today?
Oh, I mean, I haven't been diagnosed with generalized anxiety, but that's kind of what I'm calling it. It's like an ongoing issue with anxiety.
Yeah. So, I just want you to know that I'm just gonna take some points, and that's just for me to remember.
Mm-hmm.
You're of course welcome to see what I write, and all of your information will be available to you on request. Okay. So you mentioned generalized anxiety disorder.
Well, I don't. It's not a disorder because I've never been diagnosed with it, but I mean, I just know that it's something I've struggled with for a long time.
Okay. And is it? Are there any other issues that you would like to discuss today?
I mean, I'm sure other issues will kind of come up as a result.
Of
but
course.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more kind of my more main area of focus.
Okay. So I'm just gonna ask you some demographic information. What's your age?
47.
Excellent. Thank you. What's your date of birth?
May 30, 1969.
I know these questions are just like, they're so standard though, like we have to ask everyone. Tell me about your educational background.
Working on my master's
Okay. What and
in counseling.
in counseling. What about your bachelor's? What was that in?
I have an undergrad in child and youth care.
Okay. And is that a BA?
Yeah.
BA child and youth care. What's your occupation?
I've been a social worker for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm. What about before?
Oh gosh, I've done so many different things in my life. I kind of had, I can't say, I mean, kind of a focus on child care previous to that, but then I did a lot of office work and done lots of kind of different things, really.
Sure. Okay. What is your relationship, marital or just relationship status?
I'm divorced.
What about currently are you seeing someone?
No.
There's a big smile on your face.
Well, I can't say I'm really seeing anyone, but
Almost there.
there's something brewing.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Tell me about your family composition. So,
Yeah. So I have both of my parents are still living. And I have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a half brother.
Okay. So have your parents, are they together?
Yeah, they're
divorced?
still together. 50 years.
Amazing. And how have those 50 years been?
I mean, they didn't look all that happy to me, but they're still together. You know.
Tell me about your family relationships. Who are you close to, not so close to?
I think that I don't know how to describe it. Like I want to say conflictual relationship with my sister, but it's not that we fight really.
Yeah.
It's that I really don't have an emotional connection with her. I feel that she would not be someone I would go to talk to about anything with. But we have similarities. We have things in common, and we still visit, so we're close that way, really. But the emotional connection really isn't there.
What about your half brother?
That's a very strained relationship. Yeah, just as a result of how he came to be. I don't know how to explain it, but my aunt adopted him, and so there's just a lot of strained relationships around that whole piece. And
You mentioned your aunt. Is that a close, significant relationship? Any other close, significant relationship?
That aunt has passed away now. The aunt that adopted my brother. But yeah, I have close relationships with one aunt in particular.
Okay.
She's kind of like my mom, like second mom, I guess. She's who I would go to if I needed support or needed that sort of emotional. So yeah, my mom's not really that kind of a person for me either.
Yeah. Okay. Any other supportive relationships? Friends?
Oh yeah, I've got lots of friends, loads of friends who are very supportive. Yeah.
Do they live close to you, far from you? So lots of support from friends.
Yeah.
What is your family's medical history?
Like you just want to know about illnesses kind of thing in your family?
Anything relevant to your experience or any other health issues as well?
Well, there's been some cancer in the family. It's been I had an aunt and an uncle die of cancer, and a cousin recently died of cancer. My mom had cancer at one point, so yeah, there's cancer in the family.
Any mental health related issues?
Oh yeah. My mom was diagnosed with clinical depression. I want to say 20 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. And how's it been since then?
Up and down. It's a constant struggle. It's like, though she was diagnosed with depression, my mom has a lot of anxiety, so it's a real coupled.
Yeah, people together sometimes. Okay.
And it's a constant struggle for her.
Yeah. What about your father?
In terms of medical stuff, my dad might have a bit of high blood pressure, but he's 90, so naturally he has a few ailments now that he's older. But mental health, no, he's very he's solid guy.
Your sister
She suffered from depression.
Okay.
My brother suffers from depression.
Okay.
I suffer more on the anxiety side.
Anxiety side? Okay. What is your current living arrangement?
I live alone.
Any roommates? Nope. Anyone living super close to you that you meet?
My sister and my nephew live really close to me. Yeah. Not in the same home.
What is your ethnic origin or cultural background?
My parents. So my dad's French. And my mom's Belgian.
Okay. How would you say this influenced you or your upbringing, your values?
Yeah, in lots of little different ways, I guess. I could say that. So my parents kind of come from wartime in France, so I think there's a lot of trickle down from that. And maybe some of it I'm not even really all that aware of, but maybe some of the better pieces of it are like this real concept of saving money. Like my parents were very thrifty as a result of their own lives, and that's kind of trickled down to my sister and I. Like we're really excellent savers, really good with money.
Any other influence?
Well, both sides of my family were raised Catholic, strong Catholics.
So I was going to ask about religion. That was going to be my next question. How does religion affect your life?
Well, I was raised Catholic until I left home. I was a practicing Catholic, and then I made my own choices in my own life, and that's not a part of my life anymore.
It's really loud, right?
Yeah. So but I would consider myself very spiritual. I've
Excellent.
maybe in the last 10 years kind of have done my own investigating and searching and exploring. And I'm not going to ascribe to one particular thing, but I definitely feel very connected spiritually. Yeah.
It seems to me that you find strength in your spiritual connection.
Definitely, it is kind of a big part of my life.
Any other, I guess, important, significant relationships? So supporting or non-supporting?
Well, I was married. I mean, that was a pretty significant relationship, I guess. But I have absolutely zero relationship with him now.
Okay. How did that marriage end?
What made it end, or how did it end? Like, were we amicable or not amicable?
Well, I guess I just wanted more background information into that marriage.
So he was diagnosed with mental health issues.
Okay.
And I don't know really how to really describe it. I mean, I would say that I was pretty immature. Didn't really understand the whole concept of marriage, and so it definitely influenced my part in the marriage. And he was also kind of immature. And, it was really me who instigated the leaving. I made a choice to move on, and I think in the beginning I thought, oh, that would be nice to have a real amicable divorce and parting, and so that seemed nice at the beginning, but it didn't kind of turn out that way.
No.
It was, he was angry. Of course, he was angry, right? He didn't do the leaving, I did. So. And so there's just been no contact at all since all was said and done, kind of thing.
Sounds like a rough time. When was this?
So I got divorced in 2002.
Okay. How's your physical health?
I have high blood pressure. And I've recently gone back on the meds because it's been really bad.
Yeah.
I have a kidney issue. I've had it for a long, long time.
Okay. How does that affect you?
Not really. It doesn't really, but I think it's part and parcel of the high blood pressure. So that's why the doctors kind of like to monitor it to make sure it's.
Any past health issues that have been resolved now?
No. I mean, the kidney stuff is ongoing since I was 5.
Yes. So. Oh, okay. So you wouldn't say that there's been any recent changes in health?
I mean, this anxiety plays a really big part of physical challenges. I just had my first bout ever of shingles.
Okay. So linked to anxiety.
Well, I'm pretty sure, I mean, as far as what I know about shingles, it's pretty related to stress.
Yeah, stress comes out in different ways.
Yeah, so I think as a result of a lot of stress, I have had issues with my digestion.
Okay.
All of that stuff.
So the ones that you mentioned before, like high blood pressure and kidney issue, that's not very recent, you said.
No, I've had it for a long time.
Yes, but I guess the recent ones would be linked to anxiety, like shingles.
Yeah.
Digestion. Okay. Do you use any medication? Or
I have hypertension medication now.
Okay. And you said something about kidney meds?
No.
Kidney meds? No kidney meds.
No.
Okay. Now, what about, do you for recreational purposes? Any drugs, smoking, drinking?
No, never.
No drugs?
Never.
No smoking, and then no drinking?
On occasion, but really rarely.
Okay. Tell me more about your lifestyle. So that includes nutrition, exercise.
I'm working full time. And
busy.
And I'm working on my master's, and that's just led to a lot of really bad life choices, or lifestyle. Like, I like to consider myself someone who eats pretty well and who exercises.
Sorry, I'm just going to fix that. Yes.
Yeah, like typically I had really good exercise regime, right? Like if I in my younger years I was a gymmer, going to the gym, and if not after that it was yoga or cycling, or like I like to be very, very active, and I like to eat fairly healthy. I wouldn't consider myself a vegetarian, but I really don't eat a lot of meat. It's just really not part of my diet. But truthfully, these last 2 years of just, it's going to use a really bad word, but I just, I mean, I don't sleep right, I don't eat properly, I don't exercise.
No exercise. And you said that it was a big part of your life before, right?
Yeah, and that's something that's really driving me crazy right now. Like, the not exercising part. Yeah, it's making me angry.
Is it?
That's making me really upset because I'd like it to be in my life. So.
And one of the reasons it's not in your life is because there's time constraints. You're working full time. You're doing your master's. There's so much that you're doing right now.
Yeah, and I realized especially the last little while, like I've had so many different transitions in my life. Like I had had a lot going on, and I find that the one thing that if I am going to take care of myself, I'd rather sleep more than go and exercise.
Okay,
so I've kind of chosen if it's a nap over an exercise, that's what I'm trying to do more, because I just constantly feeling exhausted.
Yeah. How is your sleep routine? Would you say that you're getting adequate sleep, or do you fall asleep easily? Do you stay asleep as much as you like, or is possible?
I fall asleep pretty easily.
Okay.
That doesn't seem to be an issue. Yeah. But I'm not sleeping a lot, and so I just started a job in March where I'm on shift work, and the shifts are in the evenings. Sometimes I work till 3 a.m. Sometimes I work till 2 a.m. Sometimes. And lately in the summer, it's been pretty crazy because a lot of people are away, so we're picking up extra shifts. So there's been a lot of like stay till 5 in the morning, and it just it's really I love it. I love that it's kind of fitting into my life, but I'm really still learning how to do my life with it, because sometimes I'm still waking early. I'll wake up at 6 and I've just slept for a couple hours, and I want to do homework, and then I might have a nap for 5 minutes. So the sleep pattern is just way off.
So what you mean is that you kind of enjoy the work that you're doing right now. Seems to me that you're kind of grateful for that work, except the effect that it has, because the hours are all over the place, and then you can't really juggle other things with it. School as well on top. And that's affecting your sleep, and you value good sleep a lot. Okay. So, Chantal, I wanted to ask, have you seen a counselor before?
Yes.
When was that?
Oh, so I actually tried to see someone recently, but didn't go back because of a work situation. Like I'm not on a plan or anything right now, so I didn't end up going back. But previous to that,
how was that experience though?
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't feel like it was a really good connection, but also I was kind of like had high expectations maybe. But
because you're studying counseling yourself.
Yeah, that, and also I wanted to fix, right? I was like,
okay,
I just
quick
want this.
Yeah,
it's done. I have a few years back I saw somebody. Yeah. So I have seen counselors in the past.
Okay, so a few. How were those counseling relationships? So
I have this kind of tendency to be one of those really bad clients where I'll go for a couple sessions and then I'll drop it. I'm not very committed to it.
Yes.
For a variety of reasons, because of the money, the cost. Like if I'm not on a plan, then it's really expensive. There was one counselor I did go to for the full 10 sessions, and it was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good, I guess.
What was different in that counseling that wasn't there?
Well, I was on a plan, so that helped.
On a plan.
So it wasn't, it was all paid for. She was great and kind of took care of that. She was, I really liked her. I don't know how much I actually learned, but I felt really validated.
Okay. Yeah. So it seems to me that one of the essential things in counseling is also the cost of counseling. So if that is, I guess, convenient and planned, then that enhances your experience of counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm gonna now start talking about the presenting problem that you came to discuss. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions if that's okay. Okay. So I know that I asked you before, and you said that you haven't had any other mental health diagnosis, and this one as well, it hasn't been diagnosed. But in terms of any other diagnosis, health diagnosis, would you name any that you had? Blood hypertension, you said.
Yeah. I mean, this kidney issue.
Yes.
They don't really know what it is, but they've called it Alport syndrome.
Okay. What are the effects of Alport syndrome for you?
I mean, I don't really know. I don't know if they really knew. So what happens is I pass protein in my urine every day, all the time. So it doesn't particularly affect me. I don't notice anything, but I suppose health-wise it's not that great. My kidneys are just not functioning at full capacity.
Okay. That must be stressful for you knowing this.
It doesn't bother me at all. It's just been part of my life. So the stressful part is when I know that the blood pressure is out of control and that it's probably affecting my kidneys and my heart.
Okay, so now that's the stressful part in this health condition. Not the kidney issue alone, but the combined effect of all of that together on your health. That must be tough.
Yeah, it does stress me out.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask about the anxiety that you wanted to discuss. Now, Chantal, tell me the what, when, how of the presenting problem. Let's start with the what. What does anxiety mean to you? How does it manifest, I guess? If you want me to rephrase the question, there's many different ways that I ask this. Feel free to ask me.
Like what it feels like in my body?
Yes, so that as well. I guess what I wanted to, I was going to get to that question later. Right now I wanted to ask, how do you know you're anxious? How do you feel anxious? Because it's different for different people, anxiety.
To me it is very somatic though. Right?
Okay.
It's a very feeling somatic thing for me. So I feel a lot of tension in my neck. I clench my jaw a lot. I know that I'm grinding my teeth at night. These days I'm getting headaches, which is really not common for me. So I'm like, oh, that means I'm really stressed.
When did this start?
I couldn't tell you. I think that as far as I can remember. I don't know. I mean, as a child, I don't know. I gather it was there as a kid. I was a pretty sensitive kid, so I had tantrums and that kind of thing. So it perhaps was there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But definitely when I was a teenager. 100% when I was a teenager.
Okay, so you recollect some anxiety when you were really young. How young would you say you were when you recollect this?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I don't have a lot of memories from when I was a kid.
No.
And I suspect that around the time I got diagnosed with a kidney issue, that a lot of stress was coming up in my life then. So that's just kind of a guessing thing for me. But I can clearly remember being stressed as a teenager. Yeah, just tremendously.
Yeah. How was your family life or social life at that time? How were your interpersonal relationships when you clearly remember starting to get anxious?
Oh my gosh. I don't know about the starting of it. I don't know. But family life in general, my mom was always either stressed or depressed and very emotionally unavailable.
Okay.
She did the best she could. She did all the other things that parents do, right? Like make your lunches and get you out of bed and do all the things that a mom's supposed to do. But emotionally, it was just could not be there.
Okay. Elaborate. Could you please, for me, elaborate on the contextual factors that affect this anxiety? what in your environment makes this worse? I know that you mentioned that your mother was emotionally unavailable, so that kind of triggered the anxiety. But currently, what are the triggers?
I don't know if necessarily that my mom being stressed me. I mean, maybe it was a learned response, but I think that it's more about it's a sort of a pressure or demand that I put on myself a lot. I think it's about maybe. I don't know. I do think it's a lot about expectations and about never feeling good enough. So there's always this pressure, like to do more. I've got to be more. I've got to. So that's probably part of it. Kind of put myself in a lot of stress situations. I mean, I don't have an easy job, right? And choose difficult relationships.
Yeah.
Put myself in school.
So there's some benefits of those things for you, but then there's also some negatives associated with those. And you have mentioned that one of the main, I guess, things is the limitation or the standards that you set for yourself. You mentioned a few things. I'm not good enough. I need to do this. You choose difficult work, difficult relationships. Okay.
And maybe it's a coping thing, right? I just never really had the coping skills. I had a mom who didn't have those skills. My sister was off doing whatever she was doing. My dad was never around. And so maybe I just never really developed the good coping skills. I mean, it's something I'm working on. It's something that I am working on myself. Right?
And you're here, so you are working on it. Excellent. Any social factors that affect this?
Used to.
Yeah?
Yeah, I used to have social anxiety.
Okay, and how's that now?
Oh, a lot different now.
So would you say that you developed some coping strategies that work?
I guess it's a progress of just feeling better about myself, right? Knowing my own worth kind of thing. But it did cripple me for a while there.
Yeah. Excellent. Progress. Achievement. So now specifically in relation to the anxiety that you mentioned, what type of worries do you get?
Well, in school, I'm constantly worried about failing. It's never going to be good enough. Am I going to be able to do it even? It's even like, am I going to get through this? Like, this is so difficult. Like, am I going to make it through it?
So, I guess, would you say self-doubt? Yeah. So, you spoke about how it's linked to school. Any other areas of your life?
Oh, sure. It's, what was the question again? About what?
What type of worries?
What type of worries? I worry about everything. I worry about I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to see the people I want to see. I don't have enough time to do the things I want to do.
Time-related worries?
I'm not good enough. It's not good enough. That's what I worry about. I just worry about everything. Like, I have money in the bank, but I'm still worried about, oh my God, maybe I don't have enough money, or maybe it's, I worry about what other people are going to say about me. I worry about people judging me. I worry about,
evaluative, self-evaluation.
You name it, I worry about it.
Seems like you're really friendly with this worry.
That's a good word.
Yeah. Now, you did mention that it comes out in a lot of somatic symptoms, right? So, could you describe? I know that you said that you feel headaches, and then
it used to be more prevalent where there was this kind of spinning in my stomach. Like when I'm really, it's interesting. I'm thinking about when that spinning happens. It's like this spinning that happens in my stomach, and it's
yes, go on.
Really around trust issues.
Yeah.
Like interpersonal relationships sometimes.
Sorry.
Um,
Yes. Now the spinning in the stomach you mentioned, that must be really hard because it seems like it's very intense.
Mhm.
That somatic
Spinning,
symptom.
jittery,
Jittery. Any other associated behaviors linked to anxiety?
behaviors.
Yes. How would you respond when the spinning occurs, when the headache occurs, when there's evaluated
I'm not
thoughts of
very.
it?
I get really. What's the word? I don't want to say disorientated, but I, it's like the spinning is manifested in spinning. I kind of do this. Well, which task should I do first? Oh my god, I have to do this, and then I'll kind of do this, and then I'll be like, no, but I gotta do this. It's scattered. It's very scattered looking. I think it would look to an outsider like I start one thing, and then oh my god, no, I have to do that. And it's just kind of like all over the place, like flighting, flipping.
Okay, so in that fight or flight response, you would say it's a little bit of the fight response where you're just like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. You're trying to get everything organized and dealing with those.
I would say I'm more of a flight. Like, when I think about myself in relationships, when I'm anxious, it's like I just want to flee. I want to hide. I want to get out.
Okay, so flight response. Yeah. Okay, but then you also mentioned the disorganization that you feel in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
How does it impair your functioning? You mentioned you're such a busy person. Work, school, you have your sister living close by.
I think it affects my concentration. I think over the years, even growing up as a kid, I think that it's definitely affected my cognitive abilities.
Okay.
Like I don't think I'm operating at my full capacity as a result.
All encompassing seems like it's very all encompassing when it occurs. Tell me something. What do others in your environment think of your experience when you're experiencing this anxiety? Have you gotten any feedback from family, friends?
Well, I think I make other people anxious when I'm anxious, right?
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it puts people off, like, because I just want to get something done, right? Because if I'm anxious about something, I just want to get it over with and then move on to the next thing because it's overwhelming me, right? So I think.
How do you know it puts people off, though? What is their response?
Oh, they might withdraw.
Okay.
Or.
Tell me, what are you thinking right now?
Oh,
you're looking away. You're lost in your thought.
Well, because I was thinking, I'm not really sure. Maybe because I'm so busy in my own mind when I'm stressed.
Okay,
I'm not even constant. Although I don't like to affect other people, but again, I'm like fixated.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. It seems to me that you have this image of how people would perceive that moment, but you're not really observing them because you're so lost in your thoughts in that moment.
It's embarrassing too.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, yeah, because I think that's my mom. When I see my mom, I'm like, she's so fixated on her own stuff that she can't be present for anyone else, and that's what drove me crazy growing up. Right? It was like trying to have a conversation with someone who's not paying attention to you, right? She's paying attention to her own. Oh my god! And so she might start a conversation with you, and then it's like, oh my, you know what? And I'm like, oh my god, if that's me, like that would really devastate me because I don't want to do that to people. It was devastating for me to have it done to me, so I don't want to do that to other people.
So you're linking your experience with what the recollection that you have of your, I guess, growing up, childhood, and your experience with your mother. And it seems to me that that experience really affected you in so many different ways, and right now it's affecting you in this way. Before you mentioned as well that you feel like you learned from it a bit, like your responses you've learned from that experience, and also right now you keep on comparing yourself to her. So it seems like that's hard for you, a little bit painful.
Yeah, scary.
Scary. If you don't mind, I really want to touch upon this in later sessions. Okay. So we're going to get back to this for sure because I know that this is really important for you. Right now, I want to just discuss some strategies that you've used to cope with anxiety.
You know, over the last few years, I've gotten into yoga and meditation.
And you said that you did
Spiritual
complete
practice.
spiritual, and also you said that you completed counseling. How was that? Did you learn these strategies? There was this one time when you went for all the 10 sessions.
Yeah, it was more validating. I felt really
Validating. What did you think was helpful, really helpful, as a coping strategy?
Just my spiritual practice.
Spiritual.
More about trusting that things are really going to work out. That they're going to be fine. That, you know.
What did you think was not helpful? That you don't want to try? Would you say that you're willing to look into many different things?
Yeah, but I.
That's fine. If right now nothing's coming up, then as we go and further set up some strategies, you can always veto any strategy that you don't like, and if there's nothing that you want to try, then we can also look into that. Okay. Any particular strategy that you're willing or looking forward to try in counseling?
Well, I've kind of, let's say, been dabbling in my own CBT on my own.
CBT.
So I'd be curious more about DBT and CBT and
Excellent.
and EMDR.
EMDR. So I'm a very CBT person and DBT as well. I've been looking into, so I can definitely help you with those. And I am beginning to learn EMDR, so we can get there as well. Okay, now Chantal, I want to know about your interests, hobbies, things that put a smile on your face or that get positive energy into you.
I think we might get stuck.
No, we still have some people sitting there, like us.
Cycling,
Hiking.
spending time with my nephew.
Okay.
I like dabbling in writing a little bit. I like creative writing and yoga and spiritual practice and hanging out with my friends.
Excellent. Now, what is your hope to get out of counseling? If you were to 1 minute.
Please, you have to leave now.
Okay, we're just 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, please.
Thanks. So we're
Are
kind
you
of
done?
almost. So in terms of goals, if you were to just quickly, I guess, set up some goals, what would be your hope to get out of this counseling in the end? What would look like an achievement or success of counseling? I know that lack of anxiety, diminishing anxiety.
Yeah. Maybe some new coping skills, I guess.
Okay. Coping skills. What would be a success? How would your impairment be better? Functioning be better?
Yeah, I mean, how do I describe it? Like, feeling a lot more calm.
Calm. Okay. Excellent. So now we do have a few goals that we can touch upon in further sessions. So we spoke about how diminishing anxiety on whole, but then also to get some coping skills out of these sessions, and then I guess more relaxed, calm. You mentioned before that you feel a little bit disorganized, so a reduction in that.
Mm-hmm.
What would that? I guess my last
I
question.
don't. Yeah,
Yes.
because I think I can be quite organized, but I think when I'm spinning in the dizzy
Yes.
with anxiety, it's just all out the door. So I think it needs to be. I need to get in the coping strategy before it gets spiraling like that, where I
Excellent.
can't. I'm lost cognitively.
Yeah, I think you gave me a really good point. So I guess kind of taking control before the anxiety kicks in.
Mm-hmm. Knowing the triggers.
Triggers, sure, and then applying the strategies. And of course, what you mentioned about CBT, DBT, and EMDR, we can look into that as well in terms of coping strategies. Excellent. Is there anything that you wanted me to know? Anything that I missed?
Oh, I think there's a lot to know along the way, though. Yeah.
Of course, and that's going to happen. But anything in terms of history, social, developmental, mental health, anything that you think that? Excellent. Thank you.